Welcome you all. Myself Rajkumar Verma, working as a lecturer in electrical engineering at Department of Technical Education Rajasthan. Already I have covered some of the video lectures which is more importantly related to the current issues of the country. First in which I have taken National Recruitment Agency which is going to organize a common eligibility test for all the candidates for Group B and Group C examination. After that, I have covered National Education Policy Part First, in which I have covered school education part. Today, I am going to take a presentation on a current and latest topic of the country, that is National Education Policy 2020 Part 2. Today, I am going to cover the higher education part, the modification which is taken by the government of India in the national education policy, in particularly higher education, teachers training, and other schemes which is included in the national education policy 2020. So let's start with the topic, that is national education policy 2020 part 2. Particularly in higher education, what are the main points which is included in the national education policy? Today I am going to explain. For particularly bachelor's degree multidisciplinary actions has been taken, in which suppose you have complete 1 year of study in your undergraduation, then you a particular certificate will be issued after completing of 1 year. A diploma certificate will be issued if you completed 2 years of study, and bachelor's degree will be issued if you have completed 3 years of program. These will be three different type of certificate will be issued by the government of India or a particularly university or particularly college. Till now we are seeing that MPhil, Masters of Philosophy degree is allotted to the students who undergoes through the MPhil, but this will be discontinuous in the National Education Policy 2020. It means that there will be no any Master of Philosophy in particular aspect. A Higher Education Council of India, that is HECI, will be set up for the regulation of higher education. The main purpose of HECI to increase the gross enrollment issue. Till now we are seeing that the enrollment ratio is very much less. The main motive of this particular council is to increase the gross enrollment ratio. In this Higher Education Council of India, there is a total four sub-parties available, or I can say that these are four different type of institutions has been organized under the HECI. That is, first one is the National Higher Education Regulatory Council. The main motive of this particular institution is to regulate the higher education, including the teachers' education. That what quality of teachers we have required to implement the national education policy will be covered by the National Higher Education Regulatory Council. Second one is the National Accreditation Council. This is particularly for the infrastructure and the quality of the institution which is required to fulfillment the aims which is taken in the national education policy by the government of India. This is the meta accreditation body. Third one is the Higher Education Grant Council. It is basically for the funding and the financing of the universities and the colleges. Till now, we are seeing that the All India Council of Technical Education for the technical education, like IITs, NITs, state engineering colleges, and the other different polytechnic educations are covered in the All India Council of Technical Education, and the other degree or UG program or PG program, whether it is in the arts background, science background, or the commerce background, will be covered by the University Grant Committee, that is UGC. But this HEGC, that is Higher Education Grant Council, is completely replacement of the All India Council of Technical Education, AICTE, and the UGC. The last fourth one is the national test. This is the fourth point which is covered, that is National Testing Agency. Till now, National Testing Agency only for the JEE main examination to take admission in the IITs, NITs, and the NEET, that is National Eligibility and Entrance Test for the medical colleges in the all over country or state. In addition to that, National Testing Agency will organize the entrance examination of the different university across the country. The most important thing which is included in this policy is to that there are a lot of colleges which is particularly for the research purpose, like Indian Institute of Technology and NITs. These prestigious institutions have given the chance or have given the idea that you can change with regarding the diversity of the learning. Suppose after 5 years or 10 years there is a learning diversity has been changed, then IITs are authorized that they can make change in accordingly. That system should be not affected from the different research, and the manpower which is required to build up a country is needed. In this policy, this is particularly observed by the national education policy or the mind makers which is responsible for the national education policy. This is the complete about the higher education part. Now we are taking the portion about teachers education. Nowadays we are seeing that the teachers are brilliant, but they are not performing according to the requirement of students, according to the requirement of the institution which is required to perform. Performance should be like a teacher. For that purpose, National Education Policy introduced some modifications for the teachers education. For that purpose, Government of India in National Education Policy introduced that 4-year bachelor's of education will be minimum requirement by 2030. Suppose you have to become a teacher or you want to be a teacher, then you should have 4 years of bachelor of degree by 2030. Then you can become the teacher to give education in school, higher education and something else. After that, National Council for Teachers Education has been set up. According to, in this National Council for Teachers Education, a national curriculum framework will be set up, and according to that, teachers education or the training of teachers will be like that, and this will be implemented by the 2021. It means that it will be implemented by next year. National professional standard will be set up, that these should be the minimum profession standards should be for a teacher to give teaching in a particular school or in a particular, suppose you are talking about the assistant professor, then in a higher college education, and it will be implemented by the 2022, and this is designed for the teachers only. Other changes which is make in the National Education Policy is to National Education Commission. There will be set up of National Education Commission, and it will be headed by the Prime Minister of the country, that is India. Second one, the Academic Bank of Credit. This is the credit, like we are seeing that we have a credit amount in our banks. In the same exemplary manner, Academic Bank of Credit will be set up, and digital storage of credit will be there, and these digital storage of credit will be used or utilized credit for the further education. Okay. Third one is the National Research Foundation. To improve the research and innovation in the country, in a particular institution, in particular state, National Research Foundation will be set up. And two special education zones will be set up. These the focus of special education zones to focus on the education of the underrepresented group in disadvantaged regions. In a particular minority regions, in a particular category, there are some groups of candidates, or there are some group of students which is vulnerable in the education point of view. For that purpose, special education zones has been decided by the Government of India in the National Education Policy to focus for the special education zones to upliftment of these special groups which are underrepresented groups. And the Gender Inclusion Fund is also associated in the National Education Policy. The main purpose of this inclusion fund is to provide education facility for the females and the transgender children, because nowadays we are seeing that more females are coming in the education and other sectors, but if we compare with the male candidates, or there is a gender gap is present, that more males are educated compared to the female. This particular gender gap or gender education gap should be minimized by implementing the Gender Inclusion Fund, or it will be used for the to minimize this particular gender education gap. And last not least, National Education Technology Forum. As the name suggests itself, it is the platform to facilitate the exchange of the ideas on technology uses to improve learning. Suppose any state is doing well in a particular learning or innovation point of view, and other state are not doing well, then ideas can be exchanged, or idea can be shared by one state to other state, one institution to other institution. For that purpose, or exchange of ideas or sharing of the ideas, a national education technology forum is established, and it will work on the exchange of the ideas. This is all about the national education policies part 2, in which I have covered higher education part, teachers education part, and the other changes which is made in the national education policy. In last two videos, I have completely covered the national education policy, which is taken by the government of India to improve the education system of the country by 2040. In my perspective, it is a good idea, and it will be beneficial for the students, for the candidate which are more interested in to take education, or they give his or her contribution for the development of the country. In the next videos, I will cover the career opportunity in engineering, and after that I will cover some of the latest topic which is coming in the country for particularly education point of view. Thank you very much.